tremendously responsive crowd all through the qualifying rounds, even the preliminaries earlier in the morning. A nice crowd. As we get set now, the gate dropping. Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Matasevich standing out in front. Ward Kedrowski on the outside. Larocco in the middle.
Oh, he's on.
He goes down. Emig and Lamson had their problems. Lamson's pinned under Emig's bike. Emig to the rescue.
The exhaust pipe, I think, was laying in the middle of Lamson's back. I'm thinking he probably got burnt pretty well. You can see a little steam coming off his jersey. That had to hurt.
Gene Newmack also off the course in that first turn action as we go out in front, and it is Jeff Matasevich. Actually, Jeremy McGrath got the whole shot, overran the second turn, and Jeff Matasevich came on to take the #1 spot along with Craig right behind him.
Again, it's Yamaha's out front. They have had such great starts all year long, but you're right. Jeremy had that start one and then handed it over to Matasevich and Craig. Now Jeremy's back in 4th spot.
Right behind Henry. Ward in 5th, DeHoop in 6th, Stanton in 7th, and Palmer in 8th.
I saw Larocco, I think, 12th, which is a pretty remarkable comeback already. I mean, 1 lap into the race, he's passed about half the guys he's got to get around. Here's the battle for the lead.
Privateer Yamaha once again against the factory Yamaha. Factory Yamaha this time is Michael Craig making the move on Jeff Matasevich.
One of only 3 men to beat Jeremy McGrath in the 1994 Supercross season. Michael Craig looks like he wants to become a 2-time winner. Look at him pull away from Matasevich.
Craig winning back in Tampa when Jeremy had his problems. But Jeremy McGrath is on the move against teammate Doug Henry as we take a look from our Skycam.
Yeah, let's see what kind of lines Jeremy's using. He is one of the best in the business at picking a good line on the racetrack, and apparently he likes the ones Lamson has because he's following him for the moment.
Here's our leader, Michael Craig, with Jeff Matasevich holding in true. There's Henry right behind him, and Jeremy McGrath.
And both of them, I think, catching the Yamahas a little bit. The front 4 starting to accordion together, and I think that probably Matasevich is going to feel a lot of pressure very, very soon.
Jeremy McGrath out of the corner. Here's the step-up jump, and having problems is Michael Craig.
Well, now, I predicted that, Art, at the top of the show. You shouldn't be so surprised. It's a very tricky section of the racetrack, and Craig's not the only guy who has struggled there a little bit tonight.
This track throughout the evening will get pretty rutted as we go along. Michael Craig, our leader, and behind him, Jeff Matasevich, but Henry is starting to make a move on Chicken. Henry, number 8, in 3rd position.
Craig looking like he's settled back down, and that's important. He makes no bones about the fact that under pressure, he has a tendency to get a little ragged, and it's cost him in the past.
Matasevich and Henry approaching the tabletop now. It's a step up and step down. Takes a lot of coordination. In fact, Jeremy McGrath crashed in practice and got a nice bump on the head there.
There's that pressure you talked about from the number 8 machine. Doug Henry is going after Matasevich, and this section right here, well, they both get through there clean. I got a feeling before it's over tonight, we're going to see passes there.
Look at the long, deep ruts already starting to form as the bikes bounce through the whoop section. Henry pursuing Matasevich.
We got a glimpse of Emig there. He is a lap down after that first lap altercation with Steve Lamson.
Matasevich, Dave, holding up well. He's had a lot of hole shots this year, 3 to be exact. His best finish of 5th in San Diego, but this privateer is looking for a factory ride.
Well, he better be watching his rearview mirror because McGrath, number 1, is coming on. He has moved up to put the pressure on Doug Henry, and there, look at that, he cleared the tabletop. He jumped right over the jump, didn't bother to stop at the top of it, and passed Henry in the process. You can bet Henry will put that one in the bank.
Many of the bikes don't like to clear the whole thing, but land on the downside. But Jeremy McGrath certainly didn't shy away despite his crash in practice at that point. Craig, our leader, will be back for 250 main event action. Jeremy McGrath is starting to put the heat on Jeff Matasevich as Craig is still our leader.
He's looking for a way around. Let's go to the sky cam. He's going to come down on the inside. Look him get the front wheel down. That enables him to turn inside and make the block pass on Matasevich. I love that camera. It shows you things you don't see from the ground.
Jeremy McGrath now in 2nd place, moving up the ladder after getting the whole shot and coming out of the first turn in 4th place, pretty much biding his time until the right opportunity. And the right opportunity, the gambles are paying off.
There goes Henry into 3rd spot. Matasevich is headed for the back. Just can't maintain the pace. Get the good start, but giving up too many positions.
Here we see the battle for the top privateer award. Jeff Matasevich out in front of Larry Ward. Ward has run a very strong, consistent race. He stayed out of the ruts. He touches there with Matasevich. Ward taking the outside line on the whoops. Picking up the time on the chicken right now. But Chicken closes the door on the corner. There's 5. Jeff Stanton getting into the mix.
Matasevich is holding them up, and it's going to get complicated because Ward or Stanton, yeah, Ward gets around clean. Stanton will get him too. Matasevich has lost his rhythm here. What happens if a slow guy's in front of you and you have 2 guys trying to get around him, you increase the risk that they'll tangle up and take one another out.
And Ward is wasting no time at trying to get some space between him and Jeff Matasevich before Jeff Stanton comes along, because Stanton is starting to fuel it toward Jeff Matasevich.
Nice triple by Ward, setting up the turn here. He's got good speed and good rhythm, and now here comes the attack from Stanton.
In a very difficult area of the course, Dave.
Yeah, that's that step-up jump, and Matasevich had a lot more problem with it than Stanton. Of course, Stanton on the factory hardware, a little better suspension perhaps. Ward with the privateer stuff, though, isn't having any problem. Stanton's coming after him. Jeff Stanton, been about a 5th place guy all year, hasn't he? Talked early in the year about new motivation. I picked him to win the championship. I believed him. I thought he was going to come back like a tiger in 1994, but it just hasn't happened for him. And now you have to start wondering, how long is Jeff Stanton going to keep doing this? He doesn't need the money. He can retire and go live a pretty good life on the farm up in Michigan. I would be surprised if he's still around in 2 or 3 years.
Nice move inside on Ward for Jeff Stanton. He's not giving up on this race. He started out with a very encouraging 3rd in Orlando at the beginning of the season, but then a 5th in Houston, and then 3 second-place finishes, his best performances so far this year. Here comes Mike Kudrowski, number 3.
Boy, he really jumped on Ward. What happened there was Stanton got Ward thinking about it a little bit, and when Stanton went by him, Ward was offline and off his rhythm, and Kudrowski just took advantage of it and seized 5th spot in the process.
It's amazing. Kudrowski, in his challenge now of Stanton, has come all the way back from about 12th position. He's run a fabulous race up through the pack.
Mike LaRocco's been trying to follow him. LaRocco is the next man in line, but as you can see, it's a big gap back. They both got tangled up in the first turn. Kudrowski thus far having the better of the return. There was just a glimpse of LaRocco.
Stanton trying to hold off the rush now of MK, as MK is determined. Wheel-to-wheel battle now, side by side. He looks over to Stanton. Stanton hangs on tooth and nail.
I think he was looking over to see how much determination he read in Jeff Stanton's eyes. You don't want to throw the block pass if you think the guy may throw it back at you. He checked Stanton out and said, I don't think the time's quite right for this maneuver.
What a battle within the war. Jeff Stanton holding on to 4th place with Mike Kudrowski putting all kinds of pressure on him.
I think holding on is exactly the right word. Stanton's been pretty close to this position the whole race. LaRocco and Kudrowski have come through all the traffic, so the point is Kudrowski is going toward the front. I think he'll get Stanton, but when you get up to a guy like Jeff Stanton's caliber, it's a whole lot tougher to make the pass than it is on the guy who was, you know, running 11th or 12th on the first lap.
Kudrowski looking for his 2nd win on the season. Took Daytona this year. Has placed 2nd place 3 times so far this season. Take another podium spot and get in that battle for the number 2 position in the points race behind the dominating Jeremy McGrath. Now, we haven't mentioned Jeremy for some time.
No, Jeremy is out there running all by himself, trying to run down Michael Craig. This is where the action is for the moment. Craig's been leading it comfortably, and Jeremy's all alone in 2nd. The race right now is for 4th and 5th, and Kudrowski's not getting anywhere with him, is he? The interval has stabilized a little bit. Stanton seems to have found some speed.
He can't afford a mistake, though, as they go over that finish line jump with Kudrowski right on him. Kudrowski, oh, he leaves a hay bale for LaRocco to move around there.
Exactly. One more obstacle for Mike LaRocco.
Yeah, let's see what Kudrowski now decides to do on the step-up tabletop. He goes over the top. And now, hop, skip, and a jump gets by Stanton. Great move.
The Jeremy McGrath technique works again. I don't think Kedrowski did it quite as smoothly, but it worked just as well.
Craig, our leader, and we'll be back after these words. From Minneapolis in the Metrodome, it's Craig the leader, but Jeremy McGrath really giving him some heat now as they step up the action. Let's go to the pits. Jerry Bernardo, along with Jeremy's mechanic, Skip Norfolk, and see how he's getting along.
Hey, Skip, Jeremy just caught Michael Ray Craig. Looks like we got a race.
Yeah, he knows Mike, and he knows himself, and these last 5 laps will be pretty exciting. He's closed it down, hopefully, and get around him. Everybody says it's easier to go around him than it is to catch him. So, I mean,
He's got a bad habit of winning.
I like bad habits, then.
No, that's a good habit.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jeremy McGrath rode my motorcycle. I'd be smiling, too.
He's putting the heat now on number 19, Michael Craig. Let's see what the strategy. Oh, he slips on that step up. Whoop, that gives some room for Jeremy and gives him the edge, gives him the better line, and Jeremy McGrath is now our new leader. 14 laps Michael Craig led in this race, and Jeremy McGrath takes it away.
He ran him down from about 3 seconds back, so I think that was inevitable. The fact that it happened right there, I guess, is no surprise. Here comes Kedrowski.
Making his move on Henry in the block pass. Kedrowski moving into third.
That's a great ride. From 11th on the first lap, we hear about all the Mike LaRocco charges through traffic. It's Kedrowski who's done it here tonight.
He has been the fastest bike on the track. Usually we're saying that about his teammate Mike LaRocco. Jeremy McGrath out in front. 1 more lap to go. Do you think he can hang on? He hasn't cracked yet this year.
He's got some great lines around this place. And he rode a very patient race. He didn't get in a hurry. He knew what he needed to do with Craig, but he also knew how much time he had to do it. He just picked his time, picked his spot. See, that time he doesn't bother to try to clear that double jump. He's on cruise control.
Jeremy McGrath headed toward his 8th win of this Supercross season. Michael Craig in 2nd place. Good finish for Michael.
Bob Hanna's back on board with the Yamaha camp, we understand. Maybe he's been saying all the right things to Craig to get him motivated and help him win his 2nd race of the year.
Craig coming up into the lappers now. Larry Brooks right in front of him. But he's pretty much on cruise control as well as Mike Kedrowski back. Looks like he'll nail down a 3rd unless a mistake is made. The knack on the triple. As he goes now for the checkered flag and the finish line jump. Nice style.
48,500 fans very impressed with their first opportunity to watch Jeremy do business in their, what do they call it? The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
Jeremy McGrath, he can only afford 1 loss in the rest of the way now, and 4 more races apiece to take care of that prediction of breaking his own record of 10 wins in a single season.
I'm impressed at Craig. I thought when he hurt the shoulder, his year was done. He's come back very impressively.
McGrath, Craig, Kedrowski, the top 3 on the podium with Henry and LaRocco rounding out the top 5. Stanton ending up in 6th. Larry Ward, the top privateer, in 7th. Let's go to Jerry.
Okay, now smiling Jeremy McGrath. I told Skip we could have a fun ride to Dallas because you've won again. What happened on the start?
Well, actually, I got a great start. I mean, I got 2 great starts of the night. For me, it's been a long time, but, you know, I just had the whole shot. I was excited, and I think I forgot to let off or something. Overran the first corner, and I don't know. I came out in 4th or something. Then I had to sit back and get my pace going.
Okay, Michael Ray Craig was out there leading. He was running pretty good. You guys set together at the same area for a long time. Were you lining him up?
Well, actually, I was trying to get my lines together. I mean, he was riding great. The guy, he's super fast for definitely the first half of the race. You know, I don't know what happened. He's got a little flustered, you know, when I got behind him, but I don't know. It just ended up passing me.
Okay, after you got by him, it was bye-bye Mike.
Yeah, well, as soon as I got by, then that's when I hunkered down and, you know, wanted to get me a little lead so I can, you know, have a little cushion.
A little cushion indeed in the point standings as well, with 4 races remaining, a 53-point lead. Let's go back down to the pit area now with Jerry.
Okay, we're here with the Stingray, Michael Ray Craig. For a while, it looked like it was going to be a little runaway, another lead into another, which would have been your 2nd victory.
Yeah, you know, I felt really good. I looked back, and I saw Jeremy coming.